When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings!
Hi.
You're watching SeptumSin versus the World. And I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake, and we're going to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
What the hell?
Yes.
Or maybe I should say that at the end.
Well, we have some big ones this week.
Yeah.
I've
Physically
got a
big
little bit
ones.
of a mixture here. I've got some anime, and I've got some live action stuff. I got some Oscar winners, newly minted Oscar winners tonight. And I'm sure you've got something.
Not newly minted Oscar winners,
Oh, okay. Well,
but
well, I will start with one of those newly minted
Okay.
Oscar winners, and that is The Wife.
no, that's not.
Is it not? Oh, yeah, you're right. What should have been a newly minted Oscar winner.
You're having a selective memory loss about last night, aren't you?
I'm trying to omit. I'm trying to erase some of the poor things, like the Best Picture win. I'm trying
Oh
to
my
omit
God.
that from my brain.
Oh my God!
Well,
You
who
and
should have
Spike Lee
won?
both.
Glenn Close,
Yeah.
who was on our list of top 15,
Yeah.
who should be, who have been snubbed and need a win.
Technically, you had her and Olivia Colman on your list. So,
I did,
you know.
But to me, she is a bigger one. I think Olivia Colman made my
Honorable mentions.
honorable
yeah.
mentions. But another snub.
Speaking of snubs, though, I watched this yesterday, and I think Jonathan Pryce did a hell of a job. He has had some really awful performances. See The Brothers Grimm. But he's had some great ones, too. And I don't believe he's... If he's been Oscar nominated, it hasn't been often.
Yeah, it is too bad. It is a great film. It's about this couple, and the main guy, played by Jonathan Pierce, is winning the Nobel Prize in Literature for his writing. But there is something strange in the background. Glenn Close, playing his wife, has a strange sense of melancholy, which fills the air as he moves towards this prestigious award. And the film gets to the bottom of that melancholy by the end.
Indeed.
Again, I really am sad to see this did not get full praise, but it did get a nomination, and that is something.
And it is a good film. It's worth a watch.
Yes.
Definitely. So, speaking of films that got kind of a raw deal from Oscar, granted, this is the least of the three in the trilogy by a fair margin. But the Avengers series deserved some Oscar love. I finally got The Age of Ultron. This is far and away the least of the three. But Infinity War only got one nomination and lost it. So it officially has fewer Oscars than Suicide Squad. What kind of world are we living in?
Actually, it's amazing that you talk about it that way.
But the Ultron actually was better than Suicide Squad. It was pretty darn good. It just was weak by Marvel standards. The biggest issue with this was it was the first film where you felt, in the biggest film so far, where you felt the overload. Because, you know, you felt I need to see this film and this film and this film. Even Infinity War didn't really give me that vibe the way this did. But it's still a good movie. I got this as an add-on for my Wreck-It Ralph purchase, so it only cost about $10, which is actually not too bad for one of these. And like I said, I had to get it for the collection. I've been very slow to complete my Marvel collection, but I'm getting there. And of course, this is an excuse for me to watch some Marvel and prep for Captain Marvel.
Well, this one is a newly minted Oscar winner, And speaking of Avengers Age of Ultron, I have the film that it lost to. Again, another one that did not win awards I thought it was going to win, and won an award I did not realize it was going to win. And that is First Man, which is the story of John Glenn as a very depressed...
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong, sorry. Which is as a very depressed man.
Yes.
At the end of his rope.
Yes.
Waiting to die.
Yes.
But
seriously, in the film, he is most energetic when his life is on the line.
But again, not a bad film.
Yeah.
I've watched it. I did not win this copy. My wife won this copy, then tossed it to me. We had an Oscar contest for his birthday celebration. So in the comments, wish him a happy birthday.
Unfortunately, out of 5 contestants, I was dead in the middle. That's kind of sad.
So,
But there were some weird things that happened last night.
Yeah, we had a lot of things we couldn't predict. I mean, this is one of them.
This was up for 4 awards. It deserved all 4 nominations, but I would not have picked it to win any of them. The 2 I would have picked it to maybe win were the 2 it got snubbed in. Claire Foy was phenomenal as his wife. It's debatable whether she should have been up for lead or support. I guess support. That's what they were positioning her for. And the music by Justin Hurwitz, which won the Golden Globe, is phenomenal and wasn't nominated. But I'm not complaining because Black Panther won for the music. And
so, as far as things go, we had a pretty good run with it.
Right.
I mean, you got 12 of them right.
12.
I got 13 right, and then my wife got 15 right. So,
of course, even the one of the people who's playing blind still got 7. So,
yeah.
Good for you, Joe.
All right.
But, so,
it
is my turn. Okay, so next one...
I'm going to go turn that backlight on because it's getting dark back there.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
So next one is going to be a... I talked a couple weeks ago about having made a online Best Buy purchase because I saw a flash sale. And it turned out that they had a more ongoing sale. This one kind of irks me because I went to one Best Buy and they had a little placard that said $10, but they were sold out. And the very next day I went to another Best Buy and they had it for $15. But as I said on the previous pickups, $15 for the DC series on Blu-ray is still a good price. So for $15, I got Season 3 of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which I'm still missing Season 2, but this gets me closer to being caught up on that. And I still need to see this show, but I've heard good things, and I'm looking forward to it. And is it Season 3 where they bring in Constantine, or is that 4?
I haven't been watching it. I own all 3 seasons, but I haven't been watching it.
I think Season 3 is the one where they killed off Firestorm, so I'm not so sure about that.
Spoilers.
Well, since I haven't seen it, it's spoiled already for me, so whatever. But, sorry. But this is one that I'm really looking forward to watching, and I'm a little bit closer to getting there.
So much to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of, another one that I'm going to be prioritizing. Matter of fact, I've got 2 of these that are going to be priorities here. And, one of them, actually many of these are priorities in here. One of them is a fairly new series. That is a revival of an old series. And by the way, all this is anime past this point, so be warned. For me, anyway.
I don't think I have any anime this week.
Shame. But this one is a continuation.
Oh, no, I take that back.
Oh. Well, see, there you go. I've got anime right here on my shirt. But this particular series is an old one. Pioneer released it originally, and it got a re-release and some new life. Not only that, but it decided to get an even more new life with the first half of Cardcaptor Sakura, The Clear Card. This is the first 11 episodes, and then, of course, the part 2 will be coming out in the near future, hopefully. So we'll be able to see a little bit more a few years later.
I need to see that one.
And I'm not quite sure what this one is about. I just know that she's now, I think, a teenager, I believe.
I think so. I think this one's set in middle school. It's not like
not
late.
quite.
Yeah.
Because she was an elementary schooler in the first series. And again, the first series is really good. So I am curious about this one. I need to watch Tsubasa as well, which is a side story taking place in an alternate universe with an older version of her in it. So it is going to be
Sakura
worth
Kinomoto,
watching.
by the way.
Essentially, I'll explain the series a little bit later on, but I'm going to give you a chance to talk about your next one.
Woohoo! Alright, so, completing the triptych of DC series that I picked up on this particular venture. This was also a Best Buy pickup from the same trip as just mentioned. Also $15. This was the one that I turned down that first time around and had to grab this time around. And this is season 4 of Gotham, which of course is not related to the Arrowverse, but it's still a concurrent DC series. Season 4 was where we really kind of drifted away from the series. It's still good. I like the series a lot, but season 4, they had jumped the canon so far there was no going back, and they really started doing some weird, crazy stuff. Now, I believe this was the one where they introduced and apparently did away with Ra's al Ghul, and I really liked the way he was portrayed. I really like that take on the character. I hope he comes back for season 5, but I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I am caught up on this one, and since it's not related to the Arrowverse, I probably should just go ahead and launch into this and
I was going to say, you've seen a good portion of it.
Well, like I said, I saw up to this season, but I mean, just for my personal watch, get that ready to go.
I've got all of them on DVD, so because they're so much cheaper when it comes to Black Friday.
Yeah, $5 a volume. I guess it does add up.
Yeah, it does. So this one is the reason why I say I'm going to hold off on my explanation of Cardcaptor Sakura, because this is well on the way to me completing my NIS catalog. Though I'm not going to be able to go for a complete set because that would require me to get premiums and standards together. It'll hopefully get the full catalog worth, which is Cardcaptor Sakura. Yeah, you got the premium.
I paid an arm and a leg for it.
So this particular one I do have on the Pioneer, which is why I was kind of about it, but I got it at a very cheap price, so I had to jump on it. It's a classic series. It stars Sakura, who is in elementary school, and she ends up stumbling upon a deck of magical cards that all escape. So she has to track them down with her magical friend and her magic wand, and as she beats each of the cards, she's able to utilize the spells from that card in order to help her and eventually reuniting the whole deck.
With the help of her tsundere martial artist friend Xiaolan and her voyeur best friend who videotapes everything.
And I'm curious about I'm actually curious about the English dub. I've heard the old English dub by Pioneer, and it's terrible. And I prefer dubs typically because I don't have to sit there like this, looking at the subtitles the entire time and missing a lot of what's going around me, which is particularly the case in Tatami Galaxy, where I can't even look up at what's going on. I'm constantly because it's going with the
From
words.
what I've seen and heard, NIS does better with dubs than Pioneer
So
did.
I'm curious as to how their dub works with this. So I'll probably be watching this in dub, and as I said, prioritizing. This is going to be a priority because I want to have all of my NIS sets watched before we do our video talking about NIS and dedicating it.
And having watched my copy of that and having watched his copy, previous Pioneer copy, I can vouch for NIS presents if you have the Pioneer set, this Blu-ray transfer is much cleaner. They really did clean it up and make it pretty.
And they didn't get the movies, which is sad.
Yeah.
But the movies did get a re-release by other people.
Right.
And when we get to it, I will show some of these original releases.
So my next one is a recent eBay pickup. I found someone who was offering some Criterion stuff, and I like my Criterion stuff. And I managed to snag 2 for about 13 each. So, about 16 each, so that's not bad for Criterion. And this one is the 3rd in a trilogy, which completes the trilogy for me, and now I no longer have any reason to dither other than the fact that I saw the first one and it bored me to tears, and I don't really want to watch it. But I finally got the 3rd in a Whit Stillman trilogy. I can't remember what the trilogy's called, so don't ask. But it's this movie called The Last Days of Disco.
Woo!
And it's the film has Kate Beckinsale, Chloe Sevigny. It's much more recent. The first one at Metropolitan was from 1990, I believe. And Barcelona was a couple years later, and this was from 98, so it was a few years later. It's supposedly a really good one. Overall, I've heard good things about this trilogy. Again, Metropolitan bored me to tears, but it was Stillman's first film. He had mostly non-professional actors. Hopefully the others will be better. But I do intend to watch them consecutively to do my reviews for my Criterion series. Don't expect that anytime soon. But, again, this is one that I've been eyeing for a long time, if only as a completionist. But, and I will say Metropolitan's well made.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. But, at any rate, so, that one.
I've seen The Last Days of Disco, and I enjoyed it.
Good deal.
But, again, with Criterion, one can hope that Roma gets a Criterion, if Netflix will allow it to be released on physical media.
Now, this is one example of where I don't necessarily mind Netflix's refusal to release things quickly. Because, again, we prefer Criterion to not put out brand new films. So if Netflix wants to sit on The Ballad of Buster Scruggs and Roma for 5 years, and then Criterion releases them, I'm fine with that. As long as they take advantage of that 5 years and do some kick-ass sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of kick-ass sets, this is probably the biggest one on here. Now, when we were talking about priorities, I'm going to be doing an unboxing video. We're going to be filming it shortly after this. So you all may have seen the unboxing. But that's the reason why I've got to prioritize it as my number one, because as soon as I open something, I feel it needs to be watched. It has to be prioritized. And that is the K-On! Box set.
Did it come in a sleeve like that, or did you do that?
No, it came in a sleeve like this.
Really? Huh.
So, this is how it came in the box. I have not opened it yet, and I will be opening it when we do our unboxing video, so this will all be new. As you can see, it's pretty shiny little cardboard box. And it has supposedly all of K-On! In it. Season 1, Season 2, and the movie, plus soundtrack. So
it doesn't have the omake, though, does it?
I don't know. I think it
nice.
has everything that was released, at least on the DVDs and Blu-ray. So I'll be checking this out. We'll be looking at this together. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It will be coming up.
I want this. Now, I will admit, my last...
I do have one other reason why I bought this. There were two things that led to it. One, Right Stuff gave it about $15 off of the price, which isn't too bad. It was $165.
That's still a lot.
And then I got another 10% off, so I took another $16 off the price.
Not bad.
So, still not terribly bad. So it's about total, $30 off?
Something like that.
Yeah. Now, most people, they're hoping... I've got a couple people who've been online saying, you're just wasting your time. In November, Sentai's going to have it for $30. I'm like,
they're not going to have this for $30, but I have already declared if I see that for sale for under 90, I'm getting it. I don't give a damn if it comes down to 30. I'm not going to risk waiting, but I am going to wait till it comes down to 90.
Well, there have been massive pre-orders for it, so we're going to see how well this one holds up.
Now, my last three for this go-round are all pretty damned exciting in my book, and two of them are ones I pre-ordered. They arrived a week late because Amazon decided to package them with shoplifters, but you could do worse. Yeah. And these were both supposed to come out 2 weeks ago, and we covered them, of course, on our What's Coming Out list, and I was really looking forward to both of them. And these are my enemy.
All right.
These two. And the first one is a film by Masaki Yuasa called Lou Over the Wall. I can't remember if you presented this one or not.
I think I did present it.
So this one was one that came out early last year. I think it was like a February or March release. And then, of course, over the summer, they put out Night is Short, Walk On Girl. So we got a double dose of Yuasa. Both of them were put up for Oscar consideration. This one, essentially, the basic gist of it is, after his family moves from Tokyo to a small fishing village, teenager Kai spends his days sulking and adrift. When his classmates invite him to play keyboard in their band, their jam sessions bring an unexpected guest, Lou, a young mermaid whose fins turn to feet when she hears the beats, and whose singing causes humans to compulsively dance. But when an ancient prophecy threatens Lou and the village, Kai and his new friends must save the day in this toe-tapping adventure for the entire family. So, it sounds a little less artsy-fartsy than Night is Short, Walk On Girl, but it looks like it's a lot of the same crazy visual aesthetic. I've heard just really good things about this film. I'm real excited to see it. Haven't gotten to it yet because I was focused on Oscar nominees. But now that we're over and done with the Oscars, this will be a high priority.
Yeah, the one I'm watching currently is that Tatami Galaxy one, and once I'm finished with that, I'll probably watch Night is Short, Walk On Girl as a follow-up, and then watch my copy of that. Even though it came out earlier, I believe.
Well, yeah.
But still. Well, these two I got for $75 a piece, which are steals because both of them are heavily out of print. We talk about NIS. This has been an NIS heavier one. And one of them is one I know you have, and I also have another copy of. But I couldn't pass this up because with this, I now have a complete basic... I have the complete catalog that they have produced.
Got me beat on that.
And that is Anohana, the flower we saw that day.
It's a cool looking set.
It is a cool looking set. It's in pretty darn good condition. Also one I have to watch again twice over because I also have the the release that Aniplex does. You can see discs are in good shape. And comes with the nice book. Art book is in fairly good shape. Unfortunately, the other one I got is not as in good shape, but I'm going to end on that. But very pretty. Very good story about a group of young friends. They lost their one friend, and
Menma.
Her ghost ends up coming back. I think only one of them can see her at first, and
this is them as the kids. This is Menma and Jintan as kids, those being their nicknames, of course. And this is them as, well, young adults. You know, they never explain why she grows up. I think they mention it at one point, and she's just like, I don't know.
And of course, the movie has ended up, and of course you can see this where all the friends are there. The movie, I think, is a rehash. I can't remember. What is the movie?
Is the story from her point of view, supposedly.
Okay. So, and I've got it. I need to watch that as well. It's a lot of need to watch. And
I actually do have that set. This is one of the few NIS ones I pre-ordered. There were not many, but that was one.
That's nice to have it, that's for sure. You paid less than I did for it because you pre-ordered.
The next one I have, speaking of pre-orders, this was another of last year's anime selections that was actually submitted for Oscar consideration. And it's funny that, because supposedly it's the same people who made this film that made out Anohana, and that is the film Makia When the Promised Flower Blooms.
I've heard some good stuff about
I've heard really good things about this, and if you look at it, it looks like it's pretty gorgeous. But basically, someone I read I saw a review on YouTube where they said basically if you imagine to imagine the world that this takes place in, they said imagine that if I think Gondor was the realm of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Lord of the Rings talk.
Yeah.
Imagine if Gondor had decided to wipe out Rivendell and enslave the elves that remained, and that's the basic world that you've got. And in that world, you have one of the immortals, elves, if you will. One of the immortals finds a human child and decides to raise her as her own. And of course, so you've got this woman who doesn't age and this child who does. And the film is apparently really follows them through many years, and kind of you see the change of the way they're forced to change the way they interact with each other and all this kind of stuff. And supposedly, just like Anohana, this is a hell of a tearjerker.
I imagine.
And I'm just really looking forward to seeing it. I probably will want to be sure to... Maybe I should pair these and watch this one second, because it's supposed to be more upbeat. So we'll see. But these were definitely, again, two of the films that were in consideration this year that were better, supposedly, than some of the films that did end up... although they had a really good animated category this year. They really did. But I'm definitely looking forward to both of these. Yeah.
So, the last one is a very, very hard one to get. 75, even damaged, unfortunately this is damaged, is still a good price.
It's a series I don't have.
Is Persona Trinity Soul Volume 2. Now, as you can see, there's been a little bit of damage here to this cover. You can see a little bit of the waviness. And there's a little bit of damage here, which happens to these, unfortunately, these cardstock ones. That's actually typical, so this is why I got to be careful with it. I don't plan on throwing it about a lot. This is probably the most I'm going to be doing that with it. It might be because I have gone ahead and I broke into this and I watched it really quick to check the quality of the discs, which the discs are actually pretty nice right there. There's no major problems with those. And the book looks to be pretty well maintained. I did not get to open the book.
It's a nice looking set.
Again, you get the stuff. I talked about my second one in an earlier pickup video where I got the standard. And it's a decent series. It covers the events in the fourth game. Well, not the fourth game. It covers the events somewhere around the third game, though not quite as good as the third person anime. It's still quite a good series. If you do run across this relatively cheap, get it. It is heavily out of print. I never see this up. There's like one on eBay, and he wants $400 for both of them. And again, getting this for $75 is not terribly bad.
Alright. And actually, this one had a little bit of damage, which kind of ticked me off. And it's mostly, it's very minor in most people's minds, but I'm particular about this sort of thing. Amazon sent the 3 items in a kind of the medium mail kind of flimsy thing that wasn't, it was very... Yeah. But anyway, my last one is a big one. Because as he said, over the weekend was my birthday. And there was one particular item that I declared back in November. I was like, I want this for Christmas if you can get it on sale. But if you don't, I could take it for my birthday. But only if you get it on sale. Because frankly, if you could get this for $75, you're getting a hella deal. But as part of Barnes & Noble's Best Buy sale, I mean, not Best Buy sale, Criterion sale. Yes, Barnes & Noble selling Best Buy. This one on the Criterion sale, I think, was $150. So it was a pretty good price if you can get it for that. It usually retails a lot higher. But this was a November release that I saw that, and I was like, me want, and me got. And this is
Dang.
Ingmar Bergman's Cinema. Look at that set. That's a hefty set.
That's a giant Criterion
That
set.
is a hefty set. Well,
Wow.
I should think so. It's got, let's
You
see
gonna
here.
hurt somebody with that?
30 disc special edition collector's set. 30 disc. Look at the film list.
My God.
Look at that film list. You've got Crisis, A Ship to India, Port of Call, Thirst, To Joy, Summer Interlude, Waiting Women, Summer with Monica, Sawdust and Tinsel, A Lesson in Love, Dreams, Smiles of a Summer Night, The Seventh Seal, Wild Strawberries, Brink of Life, The Magician, The Virgin Spring, The Devil's Eye, Through a Glass Darkly, Winter Light, The Silence, All These Women, Persona, different Persona, Hour of the Wolf, Shame, The Right, The Passion of Anna, The Foro Document, The Touch, Cries and Whispers, Scenes from a Marriage television version and U.S. theatrical version, The Magic Flute, Serpent's Egg, Autumn Sonata, Foro Document 1979, From the Life of the Marionettes, Fanny Alexander, theatrical and TV versions, After the Rehearsal, and Saraband. And you've also got all those special features listed there.
My goodness.
I'm going to have to... I won't know until I really dive into this if all the special features on my editions of Wild Strawberries and Seven Seal are included. If they are, I can get rid of those two and save some space.
That'd
If
be
they're
nice.
not, I'll keep them because Criterion. But this is a hella set. This is awesome. And it looks really nice right next to my NIS sets.
That is
But-
a cool looking set.
But obviously, this will require a unboxing / review video. But obviously, with that many Swedish films, it's probably going to take me 6 months minimum before I finish this.
Well, hey, when you dive into it, we can do an unboxing.
Yes, but this is a really, like I said, when we did our list of the Criterion releases that should be, I
That knocked out a number of them.
well, I still believe that it's probably bad timing to consider a Woody Allen one, but this is about the size that set
See, I
probably
could see a
would
Woody
be.
Allen set done in that format.
And if we did, for example, the Ghibli one, it'd probably be about half this size.
Yeah.
But
And the Satoshi Kon wouldn't
I
even
could
be
see
near
if,
that.
but I'm waiting to see. I wouldn't be surprised if Criterion does one of these for Kurosawa in a year or two.
I could see that.
If they do, I'm getting it.
Of course, they've released most all of his stuff already.
I
so
know, and I already have a lot of it, but that would just look really cool to.
that'd be a
If they
space
do
saver.
this with like several, they need to do this with a lot of the masters. Like I could see them doing this for Kubrick or
Yeah.
for David Lean or for some of those guys. But yep, so this made me happy.
Well, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed our pickups. Like, subscribe, and share the wealth. We've actually managed we're well into 100 subscribers now, and we are slowly, but we are surely, ticking up. So, let's keep that lovely pattern going, and we will see you on the next one.